Here's the thing that I've recently become aware of. I go back to Les Brown. I believe it was him, and I don't know if he quoted somebody or not, but nobody can see your dream but you. And I found more of a depth to that. We can look at the same thing and interpret two different images or visions or colors or whatever. Just because somebody doesn't agree with your vision or think it's a good idea or whatever it is, just know that you are the creator. It's your vision, and as you keep continuing towards it, to give you that clarity again and reassurance in yourself. I spent the last 24 hours kind of in peril again because of something outside of me rattled my cage. And I let it in. And it bounced around like a ping pong ball and it stirred me up. I kind of went into a little depression and sadness and like heartache. And I was just called to rest, and I rested and cried and cried and cried and just came back to myself, recentered, meditated, realizing that this is just an illusion going on outside of me. I was worrying about something that may or may not happen in like 30 days or so or more. But I needed that. I needed that little kick, that little fire under my rear end. You know what I'm saying? I needed that. Because then I went from this depressed feeling to almost angry. I haven't really felt anger in a long time. But instead of having outbursts with anger, I turned inward and I took that anger up another notch into inspiration, into refocusing myself on my dreams, my goals, my visions. Our conditioning runs deep. It runs deep and it's fragmented. It's like this picture I painted. This is gonna be the cover for my single coming out, me and John 3:16. Some people look at this and think it's horrific. Some people think, wow, it's amazing. To me, we're one with everything, and we have these energy points, and when we let our energy rise, our creative energy rise, and open ourselves and allow our creativity to flow out again and remember who we are. See, I wasn't remembering who I was. I was caught up in an illusion of something that has not even occurred. But when we do that, when we visualize situations and scenarios, we're actually living it out in our mind, and our body reacts. That's what I'm finding out, okay? And, if you're prone to anxiety or depression, just know that your thoughts are feeding it. It's good. It's perfectly fine to roll through these emotions that we have and go through this inner cleaning, because I could tell myself 100 times that, hey man, everything's fine, and it is. And I know that, but I still have these old fragments, these old paradigms that were like I physically felt, that I released. And, I did some good meditations. What we listen to at night before we go to bed, or what we're watching, what we're feeding ourselves with media is huge. I personally have been studying a lot of quantum physics and quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics. because that's how we create our lives. Our thoughts turn to things. And it's just as easy as saying, hey, I have a blank canvas right now, you know. We're the ones that allow ourselves to be happy or not, no matter where we're at in life. You know, if you're facing hard times, and a lot of people are. But it's when we can go inside and take this inventory and understand, like, all right, that's not my responsibility. Let it go. Let that go. Let that go. Start doing some trimming, some house cleaning, decluttering. And just step towards your dream, towards your goal, towards the life that you desire. And don't let that outside come and rattle your cage. If it does, if it's triggering you, there's something inside you that needs to come out. And, you know, the times that we're in collectively as a world, an earth, a planet with human beings on it, the consciousness is expanding. We are expanding. Our minds are expanding. Everything is expanding for new, for better. We cannot do the old ways. You know, I tried doing the old ways, raising my children the old ways. And it didn't work. And then I asked my buddy, who had recently lost his son in a free car accident. I said, what do I do? He's like, let him be. What would you do at 14 or 15? You didn't want to be around anybody, let him be. So I did. And that was 9 years ago. But I've learned, and my children taught me, and they helped me heal. And I was able to release my lifetime and lifetimes of trauma and pain and sorrow and sickness and sadness and suffering. And there was quite a period of time where I wasn't around my boys. They didn't want to be around me. And that's fine, and that's the way it needed to be. And I had to let go of the image that I had of myself as a father, that I wasn't fitting this image, because nothing is as it seems. It's what we create. A lot of us do the same thing day in, day out. I know I was. But I had some adversity and some contrasting moments here these last 24, 48 hours that really brought me back to center. Let me know I'm in charge of my life. Right? Any moment, anything can happen. Anything is possible. Just know that. You can look at things how you want to look at them. You can look at the negativity out there. You can look at all the bad things and how horrible they are. Or you can start to notice what is good and what is right and what is beautiful. And that is you right there in the mirror. And that's the only war. That's the only argument. It's the only fight. I know this because I finally allowed myself to see who I am today. Not 10 minutes ago, not when I started this video, but right now. We're allowed to change. We're allowed to let go. We're allowed to forgive ourselves. We're allowed to forgive everybody and everything we've ever been a part of. When I released my resistance of what might or could possibly, oh God, who knows what happens, I immediately lined back up. My physical tightness inside me went away. I'm relaxed. I'm in the zone. I'm finishing up this song. I cannot wait to release it. It has been a work of art, like my life, like your life. Just know you're in charge. And, you know, the mirror won't smile until you smile into it. It won't smile back at you. The wood-burning stove won't give you the heat until you put the wood in it. The best investment that you could ever do is into yourself and your care and your needs and your love and your ideas and your dreams and your goals. We're at a time where everything is shifting. We're at a time where we need to allow ourselves to slow down and heal and rest and not go 24/7. We don't need packages delivered 24/7, 7 days a week. We don't need that. What we need to do is get off these dopamine hits, not in a judging way. I don't judge myself anymore as much. I've really softened with myself, and then I'm softer outside of me. Things that still ruffle my feathers is where I have a wound that I need to tend to. It's that simple. There's no fault. There's nothing outside of me that is my problem or my worry. Because as this painting shows, the energy rising within us, rising into the sky, rising through our bodies. We are energy. Everything is energy. I'm here to tell you it's okay. I'm here to tell you you're right where you're supposed to be. I'm here to tell you that you can do anything you want whenever you want. I don't care how far down the gully you think you are or how bad your life is. I've come back from the depths of hell. I walked through the fire. I turned my lead into gold. I turned my pain into purpose, and that's what this is all about for me. Because when I allow myself to be my true self and do what feels good to me and let my light shine and radiate who I truly am, that makes the world a better place. Think about it. If you feed the noise, see, I was feeding all this noise outside of me, and it got really loud, and I didn't like it, but it pulled something out of me. And I immediately shut out the noise and got back to my purpose and remembered who I am. It's all choice. Like Abraham Hicks says, we keep thinking thoughts, they become beliefs. It's a practice, reprogramming your mind and rewiring your brain. Let go of all the pain that you carry. Let go of all the suffering that you're carrying. Let go of being a victim. We live on this beautiful earth, and having this human experience as light beings. And the more I travel around, and the more people I meet, and the more places I go, just folks living their lives. I don't live in fear anymore. I don't live in lack. I have everything I need right here, right now. And most importantly, I have me and my higher self and my connection to God or source or whatever you want to call it, and my connection to the earth and the animals. And everyone I know, then everyone I don't know. But I know this. The love that you seek is within you. It's right in your heart. Because today, right now, I can feel it. I feel it in myself. And it's like little bits, little bits. It's a beautiful life if you let it be. It really is. I thank y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your journey. And know that the pain that you carry and the things that you've been through brought you here today, right now, with an opportunity to paint the life, to write the life, to live the life that you want. It feels good here. Much love, my friends.